Radiating from the Lone Star State and stretching from coast to coast and border to border, this is OnRadio, the weekly download from your family of companies: CMS Wireless, Enertech, ET Tower, Legacy, and Mountain Wireless. Welcome to OnRadio.
Good morning, Enertech, and welcome to our radio show. And I just want to say what an honor it is to be hosting OnRadio today. And you're probably asking yourself, why OnRadio? Well, we struggled with the name a bit ourselves, but there are some ties to the past. Legacy Radio, one of our sister companies, had a company call and they said, hey, it sounds like talk radio. So we called it Legacy Radio. The history and vision of that was so that we could tie ourselves inexorably to our employees and communicate with them and let them know what was going on. And there are some ties to the past. There are some ties to the present. It's kind of a tip of the cap to OnCap. Those are our financial partners in the business. And there are some ties to the future. And you're just going to have to tune in on our next one to find out, because I bet you're wondering why we are talking today in this unfamiliar setting. As I said before, we want to communicate better, but as you grow, it gets harder. I mean, look at us. We have grown in geography from Miami to Seattle. Now, that's coast to coast. And we've grown in geography from Canada to Mexico, and that's border to border. Add to that, we've grown in size. We've grown in size to 5 companies. We have CMS, Eastex, Enertech, Legacy, and Mountain Wireless. We're talking about 20 locations, 800 plus employees. In fact, over 250 crews deployed around these United States. We have grown in our influence. We're more important to our suppliers. We're more important to our customers. And we're more important to your team, whether it be in the office or the truck. We've talked many times about that 3-legged stool where our people, our customers, and our suppliers all support the whole organization. And without one leg to that stool, we'd probably be in some trouble. We want to grow more important to you. And we want to do that through some mediums. This is one of them. We want to grow your understanding. We want to grow through communication, and we want to open doorways for all of our people, because at the end of the day, gives us a higher sense of community. We want to be an exceptional company that doesn't quite feel like a big company. We want to be an exceptional company that doesn't quite look like a big company. We never want to act like our people are simply numbers, and we want to work hard so that you know why we're doing what we're doing. We want you to know the why. And who better to explain that than our Chief Executive Officer, Executive Chairman, and founder of Enertech Resources, Eric Chase. Welcome, Eric, and thanks for joining us at OnRadio today.
Thanks, Jim. Happy to be here.
It is great to have you, and we are grateful for the technology that helps us communicate with all of our people wherever they are in the U.S. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jim. I'm talking to you from a hotel in Florida right now. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about the technology myself, even though we've had a few technological difficulties so far today, but we're up and running now.
Yeah, you travel a bit with this gig, and I really appreciate it. Not too many people know how difficult that really is, but we're excited about the future for the family of our companies. And wherever I go, I see our teams that are applying the principles that have really built all these brands. Have you experienced the same thing?
Yeah, Jim, I see it everywhere. I was in our Florida office yesterday, and the first thing I saw when I walked into the office was all the panels of our core values on the wall. And I can't tell you how much it means to me to see how every one of our offices around the country truly embrace our core values, obviously with the first one being that safety is our core value.
It's nice when you walk into an office that you haven't been to before, and it doesn't feel like, Acme Wireless. It feels like us, doesn't it?
It feels like home.
Yeah, right on. On Tuesday, we're going to be at what we consider a pretty big show for us. It's called NATE Unite, the National Association of Tower Erectors. This thing is kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah, it's a big deal to us, Jim. I mean, I think it's great because we get to go show off. To be quite honest, we like to go showcase what I would say the difference in our family of companies is to the rest of the industry. So yeah, it's a great show. It's a meaningful show. Obviously, it's very important for the industry. Nate's done a ton for our industry for I guess decades now. It's also a lot of fun because I feel like we get to go really show off and showcase the difference in our business and our competitors' businesses.
It's more than just about safety, but it is all about safety. And that really is on display for us when you see the panels of people from our family of companies that are actually doing the talking and doing the leading on this organizational level.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun, Jim. It's great to see, the leaders of our businesses also be such great leaders in the industry. It really is neat. I mean, it's great because we take such, I would say, important leadership positions on so many different panels and so many different initiatives. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, it makes me really proud to see some of the people that have been in our company for, 15, 20 years. Some of them started out fairly low down in the business that are now great leaders of these companies and are, making a big difference in the industry.
That is so cool. The numbers actually prove out that folks who work with us understand, and that's whether they're technicians or foremen or office staff or management, they're all really engaged here. During the show, we're going to be doing, this is going to be strange for me, but we're going to be doing a live broadcast to all employees from this show. What in the world is that all about?
I think people are just gonna have to tune in and see, Jim. We can't let all the cats out of the bag.
Come on, you can't leave us like hanging like this. Is there some big secret that's coming out or what the heck's going on?
Well, heck yeah, there's a big secret. That's the whole point, right? Absolutely. Yeah, there's a big secret. So it's a lot of fun. Look, our company's always evolving, right? There's an announcement coming. It'll be a lot of fun. Nobody needs to worry. It's nothing bad. It's all good stuff. No, I'm not giving out the secret. So if you want to hear, you got to tune in to see it.
All right. Well, also, Nate, during one of their presentations, they're going to show a whole feature length film, like a movie. We're like sponsoring that.
I think that's true. I don't have all the fine details here, but I will also tell you that part of our sponsorship there'll be some information probably coming out during that event as well. That's also a secret.
Sweet. Well, that Vertical Freedom movie, we're looking forward to it because it's really about the life of a tower climber and it kind of celebrates our technicians all across the country. And it puts both people in our industry in a positive light where they should be.
Well, Jim, I just wanted to say, I think it's really important. Our industry, for years, we've fought a little bit of identity crisis. I think, what a great career this is for people. So it's good to see Nate and all the member companies doing their part to tell the world what a great industry we are and what a great place it is to build a career.
We've done a lot of things that have helped our industry put it in a great light. One thing that you participated in recently was a tower climb with a sitting U.S. congressman by the name of Dan Crenshaw and Brendan Carr, the FCC commissioner. Tell us about that experience.
It was pretty amazing. I mean, I think that if I consider the 25-ish years I've been in the business, that may be one of the coolest things that I've been a part of. I might have been even a little bit awestruck to have those guys there and for us to be the sponsor of that event. So yeah, it was really cool. Both those guys are very supportive of our industry. I mean, Commissioner Carr has been so supportive. I don't think that we could say enough thanks to him. But Crenshaw also, I mean, what a cool guy. I mean, his military background. I mean, I think the guy's great. I was a huge fan before of Crenshaw, but I'm dang sure I'm a huge fan now. And I'm gonna tell you what, don't pick a fight with that guy either. He's got some guns. I mean, he's an impressive. He's an impressive dude, no question.
He's got guns in more than one way, man.
Yeah, no kidding.
If you had an opportunity to sit down and just take your average tower climber across the country and you had an opportunity to sit down and put you in kind of a paternal role, what piece of advice would you give a tower climber who is just coming on to one of our family companies?
Stick with it. Stick with it. It's not an easy job, right? And if you think about the turnover rate for our companies, people get in and some of them, they don't stay long enough, right? They don't stay long enough to really reap the rewards that this industry has to offer. So I think my one piece of advice, well, if I could only do one, it would be obviously to embrace everything that you're taught from a safety perspective. So if you only ask me for one, it'd have to be that. But if I could have two, the second thing I would say would stick with it. If you will put your time in, this industry will really give back to you.
And when we roll around the country and we meet our people, it's really exciting because a lot of them started out. I mean, I remember a lot of these kids that started in just out of high school with us, and now they're in their 30s and 40s and they're they're doing the work of senior management. That's like epically cool, isn't it? Talk to us about the career path at all of our companies.
I'd actually like to just highlight a couple people. Maybe it would be my best way to talk about it. We've got, my history is deeper with Enertech Resources because it's the company I started. And so these stories exist all the way around the country in every office. There's a young man, Chase Agnew, who's not so young anymore, neither am I. I mean, he had long hair, driving a Mustang with big loud speakers in the back seat, if I remember right, when he first hired on. He's been a project manager and even a senior project manager before for Enertech, and is just a great leader of the business. And I think he'll retire here, and we have stories like that I think they exist in every one of our offices. Justin Huggins, who's president of Enertech Resources, I remember when I interviewed him, and I thought he was a kid. Dale Shoemaker told me, he said, "This guy will run your company someday." And I thought Dale had lost his mind. Well, guess what? Turns out he was right.
As we have grown, it's been more than size, because there are 5 companies. We've got, as we talked before, 19, closing in on 20 locations, and we're pushing 800 employees. How do we keep this thing looking and feeling like the family that it really is?
I think that is the challenge, Jim. It's one of the reasons that we travel so much, is I think that it's important that the leaders of the company get out there and interact with the offices. And, certainly COVID has done us no favors there, and air travel is obviously tough for people these days. So we have all the obstacles that we could possibly have to be able to succeed at that. Offices crisscrossing the nation. Obviously there's some turnover in our business, so new faces coming in. So to do that, it's very challenging. I mean, that is the challenge. For me, I think that communication, FaceTime, that is the most important aspect of that. And, it's doing things like we're doing here. It's having the weekly safety call. It's figuring out a way to make sure that our message continues to get delivered. And I don't really think that it's delivering that message to the people that have been here for 15 years. Those people know it. Frankly, they're the ones that need to help us deliver the message. It's really communicating to the people that are new within their first year, the first 2 years of employment. I think that's the most crucial part.
Well, Eric, I would like to thank you for joining us on OnRadio. I'm sure that we're going to hear from you again soon. Are you free this Thursday to do this again?
Whenever you need me, Jim, just let me know. I'm happy to jump on.
Well, we're growing more important to our people through understanding, through communication, and through open doorways. And you're the champion of all of those things. And I appreciate you coming on today. So I'll make an agreement. We'll talk again next Thursday. But until then, hey, let's all choose safety today. This is Jim, and I am out.
Thanks for tuning in to On Radio. Be sure to invite your friends and family to listen in and follow our companies on social media. And always remember, safety is our core value.